All in. Good looking. Miss Thang, I see you. Richard. Hell yeah. VPS. I think I need to clean my glasses. Get this. Drop this link real quick. 410, I see you. Johnny Cab, what up? Give me a second, I might lose you here while I switch the audio over. Woo! Mark 1. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Get out of there. We're going to talk about a couple things tonight. It's a tragedy in Virginia. Another school. Children sent to the upper room. Unfortunately, rest in peace. Audio was good. Nice. The audio is bright and colorful. Pride Month, baby. Pride Month.
Wait. All right. Well, I got a new microphone. If anybody needs one.
He got a deal on it at Target. He got a deal on it at Target.
Bigfoot's got to tell me how to change the color on this damn thing and leave it on one color.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Tilt it.
TNT. What up?
TNT. Salute to you. We are here. Get a hold of me on Facebook at Vegas Prison Stories. I want to check in on you, make sure you're okay. If we can send you a package, a care package, there's got to be something that you need. And I want to help you out.
Rick was at Target buying Bud Light. On a deal. Got a deal.
They're giving it away.
Yeah. Right. Get rid of this music. Boom. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? I think we're all doing better than these folks in Virginia, unfortunately. It's been another mass casualty event in the country involving students at a school. Parents as well, looks like.
That's crazy. It's absolutely, now it's going into like major schools. I do remember, where was that? Virginia Tech. They had something go down on their campus. But University of Virginia, man.
It's getting to be, I don't know that anywhere in the country really is safe from this. Unfortunately, Columbine set that precedent, and then people saw it, and the people saw that it worked. They saw Columbine, and they realized, hey, that worked. I think there's a lot of, we know that men just in general are more aggressive than women, physically aggressive. And so whenever you pair in depression, women harm themselves and men harm others. Men explode outward. Women rarely explode outward. They harm themselves.
Yeah.
Or their children or something like that.
Right. And that's it is Columbine. And here's the thing: Columbine happened. What can I say? I tried to get somebody in the parking lot at my high school in a 20-on-4 fight. But that wasn't the same. It's not like you went into the school trying to just. This guy had just graduated. What was he thinking? Why?
I have to believe that I have to believe that there's either some sort of serious psychotic problem, like an actual, or it's just severe depression and loneliness and despair. There's a lot of young men that feel despair. They look at society these days. It can be very hard. Society can be a very daunting place whenever you're growing up and you don't know what you're doing as a young man. And couple that with some anxiety and a mom that's half off her rocker and a couple other societal factors, a father that isn't there or doesn't know how to handle his emotions or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody's got their problems, and you get the wrong mix of stuff and people just explode.
I mean, what's the answer? Aside from having armed personnel at all these schools now. I mean, I don't know what to do. I want them at my daughter's school.
Yeah. I'd say that's most likely where it's going, and you're going to see this is probably what you'll see is you'll see conservative states of Florida, things of this nature, Texas, start to implement this. Just start putting cops in retired cops and military veterans and stuff like that. They'll just start shoving them into schools, and then the Democrats will find a way to spin it that like it was their idea, and they'll do the same thing, but they won't call it the same thing. They'll name it something else.
Yeah.
But I think that's basically where we're headed. It's just the Democrats will call it something else. They'll rail against it and say it's racist and all this other stuff at the beginning, and then eventually they will implement it in their cities as well.
Right. Which is, I mean, their cities could definitely benefit from something like that, because I can't imagine what the statistics look like on how many of those incidents happen for like a one-on-one beef basis in, downtown Chicago or inner city Chicago. I'm willing to bet that there are a lot of personal beefs flow over into the high schools in the Chicago area on a alarming rate, but they don't talk about that.
Realistically, I have no way to confirm this, but I'm going to tell you something that I'm getting from I'll tell you where I got it. I got it out of California Insider is what it's called. And they're very law and order, by the book, law and order. And basically what they said is, and I mean, this is the law enforcement point of view, but what they're saying is that the big homies in these gangs understand that they're not stretching these youngsters out. So you just turn them into killers.
Yeah. And
they can catch bodies. They can do the work, they can put all that in, and they really just won't look at that much time.
Look at O-Block. All of those dudes are alleged to have been putting in that kind of work. 13, 14 years old. How many of the Chicago, what's the scene called? They got their own word for it now.
Drill.
The drill scene. That's it. Nailed that. So the Chicago drill scene. How many of the dudes that have come out of that have you heard stories about? King Von. That he was catching bodies at a very young age. He smoked old girl that was out there doing the same thing.
I'll tell you this. I watched Dirt do an interview one time, and he said, I forget who he said. He said somebody called him and was like, "Hey, homie, what are you doing?" Dirk was like, "I'm just chilling in the hood, just kicking it." And dude was like, "I want to come down to your hood. I want to kick it with you." And he was like, "Homie, it's not safe down here."
Yeah.
He told him, I'm not safe down. He goes, "I can't give you no pass. There's no passes given. I can't grant you anything here.
Yeah.
It's not safe here. It's not safe for me. It's not safe for you." So that's even in his own hood. That's what he's telling them. He said there's no big homies to stop the violence.
Yeah.
Is basically what they said in Chicago. They said they locked up all the big homies. It's not like that in California. There's OGs that have done their time and they got out. And people respect what they say and they keep the order. It's not like that. They locked them all up in Chicago.
I told Bigfoot one time, I'm going to come see him up there, and we're going to O Block. And he's like, we are not going to O Block, bro.
Let's check out this story real quick. Let's see. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to swap this over to the new layout. We got, this is for when we have multiple stuffs. Bam. Bam. Share the screen. We're going to go over here to this. Let's see, suspect in custody after.
Classes are canceled today, and the campus is in a state of shock after police say a student opened fire, killing 3 UVA football players. The suspect is due in court today, and Faith Abube is on the UVA campus in Charlottesville. Good morning, Faith.
Good morning to you, Michael. Overnight, after hundreds attended a vigil here on campus, a lot of the students came here. They left flowers, cards, messages, and candles. We saw many of them breaking into tears, hugging each other. One of them told me she's heartbroken and scared. Overnight, a community coming together following the deadly shooting at the University of Virginia that killed 3 students as officials are on the hunt for a motive.
We just received information the suspect is in custody. Just need a moment to thank God. Breathe a sigh of relief.
A 12-hour manhunt ending after police say Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. fatally shot fellow students and football players Deshaun Perry, Devin Chandler, and Lavelle Davis Jr. following a class trip. The suspect also previously on the team but never played. The police chief revealed Jones was already on the radar of school officials, saying the...
So this guy he was on the team, so at least he was doing something. He was doing something pro-social, right?
Right. So this one happened when?
What are you talking about? This is today, wouldn't it? This happened today, didn't it?
This is the graduation?
This is from today. Yeah. Suspect in custody. This is from... Oh, no, this isn't. Oh, you're... Man, what did I do?
No.
My computer crashed right before I got on here, and I had to bring everything back up. Give me a second.
This is the same exact university that we just watched that story on.
Yeah.
And that dude came in and started smoking football players. And I mean, same university. They're just getting over this. They have their graduation.
Here we go. Yeah, that's, yeah. You're 100% right. And I knew, you're right. As soon as you said that, I was like, that's not the right story. He's right. Here we go. High school graduation.
Was emerging on that graduation day tragedy in Richmond, Virginia. Gunman opening fire just moments after a high school ceremony held on the campus of Virginia Commonwealth University. 2 people were killed, including an 18-year-old who had just received his diploma. At least 5 others were hurt. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist knows the area well. He's a VCU graduate, also went to high school there in Richmond as well. Aaron, good morning to you.
Craig, good morning to you. You're right. The graduation ceremony was just ending here. As you said, I graduated from Richmond Public Schools. I was inside this building for my sister's graduation 25 years ago, so I can tell you from experience there were hundreds of people standing outside this building yesterday celebrating, hugging, taking photos when those gunshots rang out. The police were very close by. They were able to stop the suspected shooter very quickly. He is now facing second-degree murder charges.
Second-degree murder?
What started out as a day of celebration.
Why would it be second-degree murder charges?
Maybe he's still 17 years old. I mean, it's as calculated as it gets. You went there. I mean, unless he stepped on your Puma, you know, I'm just waiting for them to twist this into somehow, you know, white privilege did this. It's black on black violence, and they're reporting on it. So somehow they're going to flip this too. Watch.
It seems like a clear-cut case of a first degree.
I mean, the guy loaded that thing, drove to the thing. Everybody graduated. Then he pulled that thing out and sent old boy to the upper room.
Well, and he clearly went there when he knew the graduation was going on.
Wow. They have to be friends. I saw somebody said that they knew each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as
Yeah.
crazy as I've heard. He literally went there to do this, but let everybody graduate before, and then did it.
Let's see.
Like, why wouldn't you
Operation
just do
quickly
it at
turning
the
to
after party?
tragedy.
We have an active shooter at a graduation.
Gunfire erupting on the campus of Virginia Commonwealth University, just moments after students from Richmond's Huguenot High School held their graduation. The shooting leaving 2 dead. 18-year-old Sean Jackson just graduated, and his father, 36-year-old Renzo Smith. Investigators say 5 others ranging in age from 14 to 58 were also shot, one of them suffering life-threatening injuries.
We have multiple reports of shootings in Monroe Park.
Several others were hurt as they fled the gunfire, including a 9-year-old girl who's expected to be okay after being hit by a car.
We had hundreds of people in Monroe Park, so people scattered. It was very chaotic at the scene.
In custody this morning, a 19-year-old suspect whose identity has not been released yet. Police say they recovered 4 handguns after a school security officer managed to detain the suspected shooter on the VCU campus. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin writing, as we struggle to fully...
So he planned on keeping going.
Yeah,
He didn't bring those if he wasn't going to use them.
right. I'm not really aware of how they took him down. They just said that he was apprehended there by campus police, I think. I don't know. It seemed like he had one hell of a plan. And for what? He could have done this yesterday before they graduated.
So they're not going to release his name because what? They don't want people scouring through his social media. I bet you anything. That's what I would think. Because I've been thinking about that, how much the internet sleuths, the internet detectives jump all over stuff. If I was the cops, I wouldn't want the internet going through his social media before I got to. Personally.
I mean, what if his name was Thaddeus, you know? I mean, what if he was just a white kid? I think we would have had his picture out.
You think that's what it's got to do with? You think he's
maybe.
you think he's over the top ethnic and gay? It's probably
Oh,
trans.
That's what I'm thinking. And I'll tell you why. Because this is when you see stuff like this happen. Uvalde. It took a day before the Uvalde whatever, did what they did, and then boom, we get a picture and everybody starts scouring.
You guys remember the trans dude blasted up the gay club down here a little while back in Colorado Springs? Yeah, they forgot about that. Some trans dude walked into a gay club in Colorado Springs and lit the place up about, I don't know, 9 months ago.
This could just as easy be something like over a woman. You know, they're still high school.
Yeah, and he was, like they said, he was on the football team, so he wasn't a complete loner,
No,
you know?
no. Being on the football team before, and basketball teams and baseball teams. I mean, you hang out with your teammates all the time. And I don't remember anybody that was even the punter is still friends with everybody. You're still on the team. We might laugh at you when you're exercising or stretching, but you know, you're still a teammate. I don't get that.
He says he waited till graduation because he knew that people wouldn't be paying attention. Everybody'd have their guard down.
I mean, that's so true too. His poor father.
Oh, they said they were concerned about retaliation. Somebody might go after his family.
So it's let's look and see where this high school is. Is it an inner city high school?
I have a feeling yes, just because where they showed it, it was on the coast, and the coast is
In
basically
Virginia, yeah.
yes, the coast of Virginia is basically a city, and that was a whole bunch of black folks right there. You know what I mean?
Lance and Jay have both told me about the coastal cities in Virginia just being crazy.
Yeah, it's a rough place. Virginia's a rough place. That's what I knew a Marine who was homeless, and he was perpetually homeless. He couldn't get it together. War messed him up, and he told me, he said, Virginia was one of what did he say? I forget what city, the major city. He said it was one of the most dangerous places he had ever been to be homeless. Richmond. Being homeless in Richmond, he said being homeless in Richmond was one of the most dangerous things I'd ever been in. And he'd been to war, and he was like, that place was rough, real bad.
There's a few of those cities around the country that are just, I mean, Detroit, Baltimore, Portland's downtown is becoming that. Gary, Indiana has always been bad, you know.
I just watched a thing about Gary, Indiana the other day, and they were driving around it, and there's no people left.
Yeah, because they were.
There's not even homeless people. There's not even homeless people.
For 10 straight years, Gary, Indiana was number one in on the list. Most dangerous cities to live in, and
it still is. It still is. It's just only got a population of 60,000. But it is definitely one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. But because it's got a population only 60,000, the murder, like 30 murders, gets at that number. You know what I mean?
So when people think of Gary, Indiana, also, they think of Indiana. Gary, Indiana is basically a suburb almost of Chicago. And you got the Great Lake, it comes down, and you have Chicago right here at the very bottom, and then boom, Gary, Indiana. They're like right next to each other. So it's like the distance from Tucson to Phoenix type of thing.
All right. Well, now we're moving on to our next story. Ladies and gentlemen, a group of men got together and played the U.S. women's soccer team, and as you can see, she's over there selling some Wolf tickets right there. And, well, we're going to watch we're going to watch this. It's got some copyright music, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the sound off. Let's see.
So,
a tournament against League 2 Wrexham. Before the game, one of the ladies gave a speech. Here's the video and game highlights.
Message, ready? This message is for Ryan Reynolds and Rob Macklin. 1, you should be here right now with your squad. 2, your team about to go down in North Carolina. Let's go! Let's go! USA! USA!
Okay.
Again, you got to be careful. There's a shot, and there's... We've seen a couple deflected goals against the U.S. women's team from this morning, and
he
to have that third one.
The woman kicked it in.
No chance for the keeper.
Oh, he's playing with her.
Spin move here by Lloyd. Lloyd fires and Zoll. Lloyd showing a bit of skill and quickness to get to the end line.
He's just playing with her. They're just having fun.
So the men here, they're all retired professional soccer players, but they have gray hair, retired. And the women is the U.S. women's national soccer team.
Yeah, these are some of the best of the best. It's some of the best that the country has to offer.
And what he does, and now quickly on the counter. Another shot and another goal.
He's just bulldogging him at that point.
U.S. women's team, and I think it was Fletcher and Lawson who come in.
That was a one. Hold on. We're gonna run that back. This is like a 1-on-4 here. Hold on. So he's got 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1,
2, 3, and the goalie to get.
And the goalie. One man with a ball. We got 3 women and a goalie.
Team. Just a fortunate bounce goes. You have to get more players around him and also look for the players running off of him. It's a big ask, but Well, there's Trundle able to get another goal. So now it's 4-0.
She looked like Trump just got elected again.
Yeah. So, moral of the story is the men smoked the women, and the mercy rule had to be put into place at 12-0. They shut the match down. But let's talk about, these are just old retired men. Sure that they were professional athletes in their day, but these are old guys, and they got out there. Now, what happens when a 22-year-old man decides that he wants to call himself something else, and you get 9 of them and put them on the field and call them the U.S. National Women's Team?
I think it's time for the trans women to shine.
I think that they should have their own league.
No, I think we need to get some trans women out there with some long hair to get at this fool. Him right there. This smug-looking fool right here. We need some big, strapping trans women that got some reflexes, some LeBron James-looking trans women to get out there and put it down for the women.
I agree. Let's go all out or nothing at all.
Well, this is, you know what I mean? Well, let's see.
So effective with his back to goal, has a sense of where the goal is, and ball pins balls around. He doesn't need much space. And now a takeaway.
Just take it from her. That's cool. I'll just take it from her. That's cool.
With the left, and Trundle with his second goal.
Look at, now she's mad.
He wants to get on that favored left foot. He's just looking for half a yard, half
Now,
an inch.
any woman that watches this,
Be more explosive.
any woman that watches this and gets mad at it has to feel the same way about whatever that swimmer's name is that just, broke the world record for collegiate women's sports. Because it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
This is what's happening in the Trans Olympics right here.
This is it right here.
And trying to kill teams off. So, so far so good in this game.
The target
Boom.
forward. And keep an eye on that deft touch to Boyd. Boyd, the hero from the first game. Trundle. Got a hat trick.
I feel like the women want to just go back to playing women.
I think that that's the way that should go.
At this point, I'm feeling like there's a lot of women talking to themselves, running around this soccer field, saying, this is fucking stupid anyway. I didn't even want to do this stupid-ass shit.
Right. They have the same look that they had when that Olympic swimmer for women came in there, and they were all standing on the podium. And both of the girls were hugging each other like they just got mollywopped by a dude. Because that's what happened.
Mark Carrington. Again,
Oh.
this is off the post.
Oh, she got her a stop. Boom.
Cavallo.
She got her a stop.
Murkoff trying to move around. And that's going to be a nice pass and a goal for George Boyd. Murkoff takes that shot to the left, and Murkoff is
that left is vicious, boy.
Lindsey Harris. And Wrexham now leading.
You think they just played on the women's half of the field all night?
That's what I was just thinking. I just literally had that go to my mind. Like, I wonder if they made it to the other side of the field at all that night.
These poor girls.
And it's absolutely wrong. And the women's soccer team, the U.S. women's soccer team, is rated amongst the best of the best.
Yeah, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. We're not the best, but we're pretty good.
But we're up there. We're definitely in the top 5. And the retirement home is over here kicking the shit out of them. And we need more women to stand up for themselves.
This reminds me a bit of that first goal that Wrexham, snapping your feet, locking your ankles, and swinging to make that perfect contact.
That goalie's had it. Look at her.
Contact, a nice feed, and Daniel Jarvis.
The goalie's had it, dog. You know she's sore. She's been diving all night, too.
Fingertips, bro. Just
yeah.
Jarvis.
Oh.
Game over.
Game over. Mercy rule.
12-0, Wrexham defeats the U.S. women.
Don't congratulate each other.
And Wrexham just proved to be too tough for this team, but the respect the players all have for Lindsey Harris, they're all coming up to Lindsey Harris right now.
Man.
Yeah, they're saying, sorry, little sis. We didn't mean to do this to you, but they made us.
Yeah.
And whoever put this out is brilliant. This is the most brilliant thing that's happened lately, because now you guys see what it is. Like, there's a zero difference between what we just watched and collegiate sports.
Yeah. They take some pills, they take some estrogen for a little while, and then they say, okay, yeah, I'm good now. No, it's not the same thing.
No.
It's not the same thing. If you've ever had a woman attack you, you understand. It's not the same thing.
At all.
Yeah.
I've never had a woman swing, and I've had women swing on me almost all my life.
Yeah.
And it's always more like a toy.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
grab
The-
your arms.
The rope-a-dope?
Yeah, you never full on fight.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta
there's none of
defend
that.
yourself. Give her the Steven Seagal. Yeah, yeah.
Hit her with the stiff arm.
Yeah.
You know.
The OJ. Yeah.
But and there's nothing. It's nothing against women. Ronda Rousey will kick the living shit out of me. So there are tough women.
Yeah.
But Ronda Rousey versus the number 500 UFC man right now. Is she really going to win that?
Yeah. Just a good street fighter. A good street fighter would whoop her. A good sized man would whoop her.
Mhm.
Who knew how to handle himself. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's messed up, because she's put in all that training, and she needs to shine as the top woman in one of her sports, in her sport. So you can't be letting a man come along, sock her up real good, and claim that they're the champion of women's sports. It's sick. Women's weightlifting.
Yeah, like have you seen what you call South Park with Macho Man Randy Savage? Oh yeah. It's so stunning and brave. Oh yeah.
It's out of control. And being a father of a daughter who will be in softball and gymnastics and all that, let her be forced to go up against a naturally born boy. I'm probably, the first time he bumps her too hard, I'm gonna beat him and his father up.
All right. Final story of the day. Mayor of San Francisco, a woman named London Breed, decided that she was going to have a little mayor's announcement and, you know what I mean, stuff like that, San Francisco stuff. And so, we'll let the story show up. But right now we're going to go over to Actual Justice Warrior. He is the opposite of Social Justice Warrior. Actual Justice Warrior. Check him out. Tap in, like, subscribe. He's got a huge channel. He breaks things down. Breaks things down from an actual law perspective.
Drug crisis.
So I'm a huge fan of local news. 1, because they're goofy. 2, because they're entertaining. 3, because they have poorly produced graphics. But 4, and this probably is the most important reason, they tend to get it when it comes to stories like this. So these local news guys ended up hearing about how they were going to do this meeting outdoors at UN Plaza. And what do? They show up early in the morning to capture the cleanup, because to even have this meeting outdoors, the actual Board of Supervisors cannot face the filth that they've allowed San Francisco to endure, so they send out people in order to clean this up. And by the way, this few seconds of B-roll is so telling about the state of San Francisco that we're going to have to analyze it like it's the Zapruder film. And I first thought when I watched this...
Look at that. These people are in like hazmat suits. They're in hazmat suits, right?
And they're just cleaning the area that they want to hold this news conference in.
Yeah.
So they had to send somebody out to clean up the area before they come on and tell you how good of a job they're doing.
You know there's poop. They wouldn't be dressed like that if there wasn't poop.
100%.
And needles.
Yep.
Pee.
And rigs.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Diapers and shit.
Suits to do any job in any area, you would think, oh my god, there is hazardous biological and or chemical and or radioactive material there, but I assure you, this is not a biological weapons attack, this is not a disease outbreak, this ain't a radiological attack, this is just how you have to dress if you actually want to clean up the absolute filth that is on the streets of the city of San Francisco. So to me, anything beyond at this meeting is irrelevant, because if this is what it takes to clean up your city streets, to clean up your sidewalks, you have failed as elected officials and you need to be removed from office. You have failed as a mayor, you failed as a city council member, board of supervisors member, whatever the hell they call them out in California. This is on you. This is an embarrassment. This is what I would be campaigning on, this image, because they don't clean up the streets at all for the politicians, but they let it get so bad that you need hazmat suits in order.
Actual Justice Warrior, I'm actually subscribed to him too.
Poop and needles. People wonder why I don't hang with other homeless people.
Nailed it.
Poop and needles everywhere, dog.
Jake,
come on, man.
Nailed that. Listen, Jake, you're a fool. I love you, bro. That shit was tight. He said, "This is why I don't hang out with those fools." Oh my god.
Yeah, can we run them likes up? Run them likes up, my friends, please. Hey, so this ain't even the end of this story. This story keeps going. Don't even trip. Hold on, let me find the next good part of it. This story keeps going. It's not just homeboy ranting.
Hey, everybody send Jake $5 for that laugh too.
City crews doing a little cleanup this morning around UN Plaza.
Also, I'm not going to say anything, absolutely anything, about the appearance of this local newswoman, because some of you just drink up that haterade and look for reasons to complain about my videos. But what I will say is I love this woman's sarcasm. Just listen to the way she said, saw some cleanup crews.
Also in San Francisco today, our cameras captured city crews doing a little cleanup this morning around UN Plaza. It was all to get ready for a special outdoor hearing to address the city's drug crisis. But things did not go exactly as planned. The Board of Supervisors meeting barely got started when the mayor was shouted down and the outdoor session had to be scrapped. Our Wilson Walker has more on what happened.
She got shouted down. She can't even hold a press conference, dog, in the city.
Now she's the new mayor too, correct?
She's been around a couple years. London Breed.
Since the last election, right?
Yeah, London Breed been around a little while. Yeah. All right.
Happened here, Wilson?
Liz, I'm not sure Las Vegas had an over-under on how long this event was going to last. Some people wondered if it would get started at all, so it achieved that. I looked at my watch when they shut things down, and it was 2:14, so it didn't quite go 15 minutes. Maybe if you're cynical, you thought this thing wasn't going to get anywhere at all, but I can tell you there were people who showed up today hoping to hear a conversation.
So I love this local news reporter. He's like, listen, I had my money on this not happening at all. I had my money on they weren't going to do this because politicians were too cowardly. However, they did it for about 15 minutes, but make no mistake, I set my watch and they didn't quite make it 15 minutes. Now, I also like this guy because his name is Wilson Walker, an alliterated name and a reporter. You know what that means. This guy is one bad day away from being a vigilante, the hero that San Francisco needs, and he's going to beat down the criminals himself, bring them to justice, even if the corrupt mayor won't allow them. So Wilson Walker, I'm sorry I outed.
That my front yard is this. My backyard is this.
A lot of people were wondering what was going to happen, but no one has a bigger stake in this neighborhood's future than those who live here.
Also, and I swear I'm not going to stop this video for all my stupid points, but I will stop this video for each and every one of my stupid points. I thought this guy's mask was a beard. I thought he was trying
really hoping to...
For those of you who like to say, well, they voted for it. By the way, you don't get much more progressive than the city of San Francisco. By the police, who put his hands up, feigned a surrender, convinced the police to lower their weapons, pulled over.
This is
along with it.
Now we're gonna talk a little bit about the person who's actually the district attorney, and the person that they kicked out of being the district attorney in San Francisco, and about the people that he comes from and how he was raised and things of this nature. And the funny thing is they were having a meeting about drug use in the city, and somebody actually ODs in the crowd.
Wow.
Somebody ODs in the crowd. That's what I was just trying to find in that. I'm still going to try to find it. But somebody ODs in the crowd. That's what shuts the thing down. Somebody ODs in the crowd. They have to render first aid, give the person Narcan, and then people start getting restless. People start yelling. People start screaming. And it just goes downhill from there.
Wow. And this is all San Francisco. I mean, look at our not-so vice president used to be a prosecutor in San Francisco. What's her name? Nancy Pelosi. Isn't she from San Francisco?
It's her district. I don't know if she's from there, but it's her district, yeah.
Well, I mean, they were living there until
I think she's
brought
from
over a lover.
I think she's from Baltimore, I think, if I remember right.
Let's see, how does that work too? If you're from Baltimore, how are you in the Senate? That makes no sense. Shouldn't you have to live?
No,
I think you live in your district.
like she was born in Baltimore, like born and raised in Baltimore as a child.
Right. And then she went and married that dude who keeps pool boys on the side and gets hit in the head with a hammer.
Oh,
Pelosi.
Oh, Paul.
Oh, Paul. Tried to play it off at first when the cops came, like, nah, man, like, I don't know what to say here. I'm in my underwear, and
Yeah.
you know,
Then he
there's
got
another guy.
then he got
another
smacked
guy,
in the head.
Yeah, holding a hammer, who's also in his underwear. It's very odd.
His mother for their involvement in the Brinks robbery. This was a robbery where Boudin's father was pulled over by the police, who put his hands up, feigned a surrender, convinced the police to lower their weapons, and then 6 men armed with automatic weapons, not semi-automatic weapons, automatic weapons, burst out of the truck and started firing upon the officers. And when one officer was hit, Officer Brown, and he was on the ground, another one walked up to him with a 9mm handgun and executed him on the spot. Now, that was one of 2 officers that were killed in this robbery because Chesa Boudin's father got them to lower their guard while these people came out and attacked them. And by the way, these were members of like the Black Liberation Front or whatever that stupid left-wing organization was called back in the day. And Chesa Boudin and his father have connections, and the mother, by the way, to the Weather Underground Group. This is why Boudin was actually raised by Bill Ayers, the head of the Weather Underground Group, post both of his parents.
So
Obama and Clinton are both disciples of Bill Ayers.
Wonderful.
This is all the same people.
So who's the son? They said his father.
Chesa is the son. He's the district attorney that got thrown out. San Francisco threw him out like 6 months ago.
Not because of who his dad was, right?
No, because the city went to shit. They had a
What's he
recall.
doing? Is he just letting everybody out?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not working. Everywhere that they're doing it, look at New York. It's horrible.
Yeah.
They're letting fools out for trying to smoke fools. There was that one dude, and he went and found the snitch in his case, in his new case that he just got from trying to smoke somebody, found the snitch and smoked him. He was let out on bond in New York
Yeah.
for trying to take somebody out. And then he gets out and kills his buddy for telling on him.
AJ, what up? Jump up if you want to. Bam.
Hell yeah.
We're talking about the San Francisco mayor getting run out of town, and people ODing in the audience while London Breed tried to have a press conference. Let's see.
Going to prison, and he thinks for domestic terrorism and for robbery and for faking a surrender that led to the execution of 2 officers. They had it hard on them, and honestly, that's what pushed them into criminal justice reform. So San Francisco, maybe super progressive, maybe insanely left-wing, but they did recall and fire the guy who supported his parents in their murder of 2 police officers via ambush and an execution-style shooting of the other officers, so I guess I'm on board with that.
As 2 o'clock approached, San Francisco city government poured in, but they were not alone. There were leaders from the nonprofit community, recovery advocates, effectively a who's who of people involved in the city's drug conversation, all in the very plaza that has become known as the epicenter of the city's drug crisis.
So the local news just glossed over something, but I think it is incredibly crucial that you understand who was just being described to you. When they say recovery addicts and these NGOs and all of that, what we're talking about is essentially the homeless industrial complex in San Francisco. These are the people that profit off of the current.
Yeah, this is a big thing too, where they profit off of. There's big money in just keeping people homeless, keeping people perpetually homeless, and then just getting money from the state and basically giving the homeless people a little amount as possible.
Yeah.
So
facts. It's the same with the junkies and the opioids in Florida and like West Virginia. There's a whole industry of keeping junkies going in and out of these rehabs that don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? They get like hundreds of millions of dollars from the Fed. And it's the same with the homeless. But I just want to say, you guys saw Travis Rudolph got not guilty today?
Who's that?
He's the football player where he was with that ratchet chick, and she found some girl's numbers in his phone. So she was hitting him, and he pushed her, and then she called her 4 brothers to come check him. So these 4 dudes came to his house, and he pulled out the AR and yo, this is Florida. They broke in his house, started beating up his brother. So one of them had a gun, and man, he had the AR, and he said, yo, man, he went freaking say hello to my little friend, and
Nice.
and she lied on the stand. You know what I'm saying? You guys gonna watch her testimony, and the lawyer's like, so when you told your brothers to come shoot his shit up, what did that mean? Oh, I didn't mean actual violence. What do you think that's supposed to mean? You know what I'm saying? So he was on trial for the last couple of weeks, and where she messed up is she claimed that he hit her and beat her up, but it was on his porch, and his doorbell camera caught the altercation. She was hitting him. He never hit her once. And then he said, get out of my house. She called her brothers. The brothers came, and of course you got, all these black men fighting over some woman. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, babe, what's the lesson here? Don't go breaking into no dude's house who got a couple of guns in there.
Hell no.
In Florida. So when it comes to these politicians,
the stand your ground law out, and he still got acquitted. So, anyways, happy day, man. Good news.
So there was a judge, a municipal judge, who was an elected judge in Clark County in Las Vegas, in the city, right? He owned the commissary company that did commissary for the jail.
What?
Yeah.
This dude would break fools off. We called him Judge 180 because and we're talking bumps for trespassing type shit. 180. And if you look like you had a little bit of money, he was definitely going to give your ass like 30 days on some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
He knows you're going to come spend.
Yeah. That's
And,
crazy.
Yeah, it was a big old thing. Judge Assad.
Did he get busted?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's why he stepped down. I don't think he was ever charged.
He should step down. That's ridiculous.
We've had a few corrupt judges in Nevada.
Yeah.
And these are, make no mistake about it, they know the law, but they are elected officials. Like you elect judges.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's
So let's
funny
see.
how a bunch of these judges make like $240,000 a year, but they retire as millionaires, like multi-millionaires. Gee, I wonder why that could be. Like the one judge in Pennsylvania that kept sending all those kids to that private juvenile
Yeah.
facility, and he was getting kickbacks. He was getting
Yep.
money for every kid he sent up there.
Yep.
And he was sending Asian kids, Indian kids,
Whoever. Yeah.
Listen,
You think
good
he was
kids.
just sending Jamal and Tyrone up there?
Yeah, he was sending good young little kids that were like throwing rocks at cars type of deal, and he was breaking their ass off.
In Ahmed.
All right. Let's go over here to this video, see what this is talking about.
Policies in lieu of the police department, so they're showing up in order to artificially boost their voice, but make no mistake, they're here for their paycheck, even if they're well-meaning. The fact of the matter is, having a homeless problem not solved by law enforcement creates a perverse incentive, because that's how they make their living. And obviously shifting over to these nonprofits, shifting over to these social workers has not gotten rid of the problem if you're in a place that is the known area for the open air drug market. So all of those people could mean well. I'm sure a lot of them do. A lot of rehabilitation people mean well, and I always like to say, nobody's against rehabilitation. Everybody would love if we could take somebody who was a criminal, turn them into a productive member of society. The problem is that's a lot easier said than done, and these are the people working against the citizens of San Francisco, whether wittingly or not, due to the fact that they're incentivized to address the problem in a different way than we actually need it. These people need to be cleared out of the area. I'm sorry to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal, but you do not have a God tier right to camp in public in the West Coast. That is somewhere, somehow in the Constitution. That is ridiculous and absurd. We need to have anti-camping ordinances. The police need to be empowered to enforce public order crimes, because what essentially happens is when you allow the environment to decay in this way, that invites criminality. If you create areas or zones that look to the average person like nobody's watching it, nobody's protecting it, nobody cares about it, then that's going to invite all this different illicit activity, and that's what the San Francisco politicians need to actually address.
100%.
Yeah, and all the business owners, well, let's just say Gangish has a smoke shop or a glassware shop or something, and he's been in business for 20 years. Then all of a sudden, all these homeless people are across the street from his business. The customers are scared to come in. There's needles. You know what I mean? Your place is getting burglarized. Like, what are you supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? You spend all this time and money and effort starting your business, doing what the American dream is. You know what I'm saying? And the city council and all these knuckleheaded politicians who don't even live in these areas. Because, of course, if the homeless were in their neighborhoods, all of a sudden it would get fixed. Just like these migrants in Chicago, how everyone wants all these migrants, but they put them in all the black neighborhoods. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You know
The people with no money. Put them with the people with no money.
I support that move 100%. Sanctuary cities, it's time to put up or shut up.
That's what I said. Yep. Seriously, I hope that they get some decommissioned. What is it? C-17 cargo planes. And put all those migrants in there, strap them with some friggin' parachutes, and just toss them all over Chicago and in New York, man. Because they asked for it.
Just watch. They're going to start not allowing these planes to land, and they're going to see them coming. They're gonna shut it down, and then they're going to turn it around on the Republican governors that are doing it, which is Texas and Florida. Amazing troll move. That's a level 100 troll move right there.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
he sends them to Martha's Vineyard.
guys, nonprofits are not inherently bad. Like, there's a lot of nonprofits where people start them because they want to do good. There's people who work there that do well. But the issue is it's a little bit murky with like a lot of the oversight. Like, for instance, building lesbians mansions. You know what I'm saying? They are claiming bankruptcy now.
The Black Lives Matter also.
That's what I said. Building lesbians' mansions.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're going out of business. They're $90 million.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got everything that they needed out of it. They got all 10 of their houses and cars.
Paid their dad $2 million. Paid, but in general, though, there's a lot of really good nonprofits out there. But you can flim flam and bamboozle, and all of a sudden, your books aren't being watched. You're getting all this money. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, was it 5% of your revenue is going to actually helping people, and the other one's going to your Lambos and all that other stuff, man. And it
Right.
just makes the rest of the nonprofits look bad. Look. I used to work with some of the people who used to work with homeless in San Antonio, Texas, and the people that actually do the job, that are actually out there, man, these people are. I don't want to say that they're saints, but they really are like selfless, good people. It just sucks that the knuckleheads that run their organizations are greedy, selfish pieces of trash. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Well, the children's oncology. What's the
Department.
Name? No. The one that does kids cancers, not St. Jude's, because they're good.
Children's Hospital.
I'll think of it anyway.
National Jewish. National Jewish.
No.
No.
No. They all drive around in brand new Escalades when they go, and it's the craziest thing. They buy Escalades to send nurses out. How many kids could one Escalade cover?
And imagine the Escalade comes and the guy said, I wanted the one with 24s on it, not 22. Stupidity.
Yeah. Oh, stock BS. Get this stock. Yeah, get these stock rims out of here.
I want a Shaq feed on this thing. Look at my freaking Juvenile and the Hot Boys back in the day.
It's crazy.
Guys, I got a dip, but gang, did you get my email earlier today?
I haven't checked my email all day, brother.
Okay, well, just Vegas, you and Gangish both. I'm going live tomorrow at 8 to talk about witchcraft is the fastest rising religion with young women these days.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I know one.
So we're gonna talk about that. So you guys feel free to join. 'Cause I'd like
Actually, as a matter of fact, I know one, and she does live streams.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I can get her. I don't know if I can get her on here. Yeah, she actually sells her little crystals and stuff. She sells them online. So she does a little live stream, but like like the camera will be looking at the table and be looking at the crystal, so you don't see her very much. Sometimes you see her, sometimes she'll be on, but mostly it's like the crystals. But she actually sells them. Like she actually makes money like this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a witch though. All out.
Yeah. And it's funny. I shared you guys' channel on my channel, and a bunch of the guys that I know at the gym have subscribed to your channel. They're like, "Hey, yo, those two dudes are hilarious."
Hell yeah, yeah, exactly. Crystals and tarot cards and shit. So I'll see. I'll talk to her and see. Maybe she can make an appearance and tell us some witch stuff.
Cool.
You know what I mean? No promises.
Appreciate
But
it.
later, brother.
All right, AJ.
All right.
Let's see.
Yeah, I know a couple of witches.
Yeah. I used to date one. There's one here in the north side, too. They call the Bruja. This Mexican lady, they call the Bruja. She just does, like, witch stuff up there in the north side. Everybody knows her. And she just, I don't know, just kind of, like, lives off donations from the hood and casts spells on people and shit. She pays her rent somehow or another. I don't know. She got a big old house.
Listen, my bar wife, like 2 bars ago, right? I worked at this country club, and the teams behind the bars, you get your bar wife, and that's the one that you talk to all the time, or bar husband, or whatever it is. What it is. She fancied herself being a witch, and she would all out. They would have meetings out in the middle of like Prescott, where all the trees are and stuff.
Yeah.
And she had her, and I'm still friends with her today. You know.
Witch meetings.
Yeah. Yeah. Brittany, hi.
Yeah.
What you doing, boo?
Yeah.
Probably has some kind of,
Yeah.
you know, ritual. But she fancies herself being a witch.
Burning something or yeah.
Yeah. I told her, look, I don't need none of those voodoo little pincushion things. You'll be doing the weird stuff to me, plucking my hair and trying to.
I used to date a woman named Preem, and she would go to the botanicas, which is what they are in the Mexican neighborhoods. It's just a witch shop. It's a shop for witches to go get stuff. You can get religious stuff there too, like Catholic stuff and things of this nature. But yeah, they're called botanicas. And yeah, I used to take her to those, and she would buy all kinds of roots and all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah.
I got crystals all around my house, inside and out. Yeah, I know. Women are really embracing this stuff lately. I've noticed that.
The
everything.
Crystals, yeah.
It's all about the crystals and the vibration and the energy, and yeah, I've noticed that too. It's I don't know.
I mean,
who am I to say?
I could feel really great walking in there, and you're like, "Damn, this room is nice, comfortable." You know.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there's some energy coming on here.
Yeah, I don't discount that, but that's Earth. That's
And
Mother
burn-
Earth type stuff, you know.
And burn sage all the time. Yeah, the hang around a lot of Native Americans, and they tend to kind of do that, just in general. You know what I mean? You go over there, and they'll be like, "Oh, they'll just be burning some." They'll hand you the little thing, and it's burning the little bundle, and then you gotta do yourself. You know what I mean?
Bro.
You hit yourself.
I watch on Fox. There's this show called Ghosts. It is the funniest new comedy that I've seen. And basically, a woman, she moves into this gaudy ass bed and breakfast, falls down the stairs. Now all of a sudden she can see ghosts. And they tried to bring in somebody to expel the ghost. And she can see the ghost, you can see the ghost talking. They're all cutting up. Somebody starts burning sage, and they're like, "Oh, sage again? Oh, I hate the smell of sage." You know, like it wasn't even bothering them. It was one of those moments I started laughing.
They just didn't like it.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, sage stinks, man."
Yeah.
Now, I believe in ghosts.
See those two half-naked witches caught on security cam eating a deer carcass? I
No,
did
thank you.
not see that. I must have missed that one.
Yeah.
Eating a deer carcass.
No, thank you at all.
So, what happens to San Francisco? And here's why. There is a massive collapse that is about to come in the commercial real estate market because nobody's going back into these commercial real estate buildings. And as it turns out, San Francisco is full of commercial real estate and nobody's coming back. And it's getting that way to be around here. Like even in my neighborhood in Denver's doing well. Like even in the 2008 financial crisis, Denver fared pretty well because it's a rich city. So we can weather the storm generally. Hey man, there's businesses all around here. You're seeing shutter. You know what I mean? There's a big guy store across the street. Been there for like 30 years. I know Big and Tall shop because I've been Big and Tall. You know what I mean? So I've been shopping there forever. It went out of business. It's been there forever. And things are going. The commercial real estate space, there's about to be a serious collapse. And there's a whole bunch of banks that are holding notes. They owe payments. Their payments are coming up, and nobody's living inside of these places. So nobody's renting anything from them, and their mortgage payments are coming due.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so what happens when the bank defaults on their, I mean, how does that work? The bank holds the note to these businesses, right?
No, but they owe people too. The bank owes too.
It's a weird world.
Everybody has to buy. Everybody has to get their money from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the banks get the money from the Federal Reserve.
Yep.
And then the Federal
Reserve prints it and makes bonds and then sells bonds to the richest people in the world.
Right.
Queen of England, the countries, sells bonds to countries. Japan owns a bunch of our debt, stuff like that. So we sell bonds to countries, but then other countries do that too. So everybody kind of owns everybody's debt. It's a weird situation, right?
And bonds are basically IOUs.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't get it. The banks are starting to lose their business too. If you haven't noticed, there's banks that are failing. We just had a bank fail like a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's been several fail.
Right.
2 or 3 have fallen. And there's more that will. Too many of them got out there over their skis with the crypto situation. Binance is getting ready to be sued. CZ, the CEO of Binance, is stepping down. He knows that they're coming for him. He refuses to come back to the United States because he will be arrested. He knows he will be arrested. And Sam Bankman-Fried, I believe they're talking about dropping the charges or something like that. They're going to let that guy go. More banks. Put it this way. This is something that you can always remember, is that whenever the automotive revolution took off, there was hundreds of car dealerships or car manufacturers across the United States. All kinds of different companies started making cars. And then think about how many are left. There's like 3 or 4 major brands. That's it. That's what will happen with all these banks. That's what will happen with all those NFTs they printed. That's what will happen with all these cryptos.
Yep.
There will be a couple that make it, and the vast majority of all businesses in every sector, the vast majority of all of them go broke.
Right, and that's the next bust, right? First it was .com, then it was the housing market. Now it's going to be crypto. Crypto's going to just blow up in everybody's face, and
well, it already has.
It's like it's got to be a pyramid scheme funneling somewhere, though. That money that people are collecting when they're buying and selling this has to go up. It's got to go in somewhere, right? Somebody's behind all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to blow up because it's not backed by any tangible property or gold or money, or it's a crypto
but
does not exist except for in our heads and on computer.
Yeah, but that's all money is too. So that argument is really doesn't hold water. That's what money is too. Money is just we don't have enough money, physical money, to account for all the numbers in the computers.
Well, when it comes to money, at least it is technically supposed to be backed by the gold reserve. The gold that we have.
No.
But
we left that in 1976. Yeah, we left the gold standard in 1976. Yeah, we're not. Our money is backed by our balls and our word. That's it. It's backed by the power of the United States government, the military.
And another thing, how the hell do we owe other countries? I've never understood that. I mean, I kind of do. Obviously, I'm not a moron, but like, what are you talking about? China's bought up all of our debt, and now we owe China.
China hasn't bought up all our debt. That's a myth.
Well, we can go over there and kick their ass, is what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to root for or against. Yeah, I am. I mean, somebody owes you money in prison, and you get them up, hands laid, debt paid.
Don't work like that. You can't just go around. The reason that the United States dollar is so strong is because the world trusts us to pay our debts and trust us to not be a dirtbag. And that's why the Chinese yuan will never supplant the American dollar in any time in the near future, despite all the stupid headlines on the news that they like to throw out there. It's a bunch of clickbait, and it's complete trash. Nobody trusts you're telling me that you're going to trust the Japanese government that just lied to you about this virus? They were just openly lying 12 months ago. Chinese. Now you're going to Chinese. So now you're going to take all your money and put it in. They just lied to you. They just openly lied to your face and told you there was nothing going on. They steal from everybody. They steal everybody's intellectual property and then claim it's not happening. They just say it's not a thing, or they say, oh, we're cracking down on it. They say fentanyl's illegal. We don't have that problem here, and we say we can see the manufacturing plants. They're right there. I could see them on the satellite images. What do you mean? These are the people that you're going to invest your money with?
Yeah.
Who are you going to invest your money with? Russia? Good luck.
I'm not
Good luck.
investing my money anywhere.
No, but this is what we're talking about. We're talking about taking out debt and things of this nature. And we're talking about, there's been a lot of talk lately about alternative types of currencies. They're talking about the BRICS Union bringing alternative types of currencies. Okay, for one thing, India, China, and Russia don't even like each other.
Yeah.
They don't even like each other. There's running border disputes. China has running border disputes with every one of its neighbors. Several Indians were beaten to death on the Chinese-Indian border about 18 months ago, were beaten to death with sticks. Like a huge brawl, a massive border brawl. This is what they're doing. Nobody trusts China. Nobody trusts Russia. There is no other alternative to keep your money safe unless you get in bed with the United States government. At this point in time, there's just not.
So you can't trust Russia, obviously. I mean, you've watched them completely collapse and dissolve in front of our eyes in our lifetime. China is the next up and coming thing. You have to admit that.
Sure.
We are on the decline.
We
You
are.
have to admit that.
Yep.
Everything's accelerated because information is accelerated.
Mhm.
It's going to happen fast. It's going to happen really quick, in the blink of an eye.
They're going to trust. People build trust faster now, you think?
Yes, because they're doing it on a wider scale.
So they're going to trust China. How long before we can start trusting China?
Now, it instead of it being China has been a good partner for 50 years, like the old standard. No, now it's China has been a great partner to 50 countries over the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of it's
China's not a great partner to anybody.
Well,
China's never been a great partner to anybody.
Yeah, they don't really have much in the line of anything besides manufacturing to offer the world, right? Is head count.
They built a giant hospital in Zaire, I'm thinking, Congo, maybe Mozambique.
Mm-hmm.
Built a giant hospital in Mozambique and then filled it full of security cameras that they could watch from China. The Mozambique people got so pissed that they ripped all the cameras out and told them, "Fuck you, we're not paying you for this hospital. You're gonna spy on us."
Right.
That's the type of favors China does people.
How much land do you think China owns of the United States?
sure a
the
lot.
Continental U.S.
I'm sure a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm positive of that.
Every landlord I've ever had has been Chinese.
They own every lithium mine in the world. That might be true. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
No, there's a lithium mine in Indonesia. I was watching a thing about it. So China don't own that. So that's not true.
But they own the ones in.
They own a lot.
Africa.
They own a lot of the conflict minerals.
Yes.
That is absolutely true. They own a lot of precious minerals, 100%. 100%.
Right.
But another thing is that, well, here's the thing. For a long time, we said, oh, okay, well, there's oil in Texas and there's oil in Saudi Arabia. But you got to remember, they just found that oil in Saudi Arabia in 1950, right? So that wasn't that long ago. So every time that we look for oil or make a concerted effort to actually look for things, we find it. Japan has been having a lot of problems because they have to import all of their oil. So gas is very, very expensive. So they went off the shore and looked for oil. They found some oil.
Yeah.
Israel found a bunch of natural gas. They were having problems in the Middle East, just went and looked off the coast. They found a bunch of natural gas. And the United States went looking for some, some minerals, precious metals, and we found them. And so we don't really know what's out there. Things are just kind of that way for now.
Yeah. I just they are on the uptick and we are on the downtick, and nobody can dismiss that.
Oh yeah, no, we're 100% declining. Yes,
And we shouldn't be.
our power is declining 100%.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be, but it is.
He says Hawaii's mostly owned by the Chinese. I can see that.
See,
Lithium mines in Nevada. Oil is essentially new. Saudi Arabia, yeah, it is. It's really good stuff. It's really rich. We're dependent. Yeah, we are dependent on. We're dependent on lithium. We're dependent on a bunch of stuff.
we're semi-dependent on lithium when it comes to the ion battery technologies, but that's about it.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else it's in.
Right.
It could be in a lot of stuff, but batteries are in everything. Batteries are in every phone.
Well, they were making batteries before lithium-ion batteries.
Lead acid.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we have tons of.
Yeah, they're huge and heavy and toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the better option until we run out of lithium because it's so precious and
No, we need to go nuclear. That's really the only way.
yeah.
We could feed the planet and not have to. We could feed the planet and light the planet and do everything we needed to do with nuclear power. And the only real problem, I mean, we would have to perfect nuclear power. Small regional nuclear power plants across the world is kind of it's the cleanest way. It doesn't sound like it is, but it really is the cleanest way. France did it.
Now, the reason they won't do that is because if all cars are nuclear-powered cars, what's to take somebody from
That's not how it would work.
picking apart? Nuclear is nuclear.
That's not how it would work. The car would still be electric. The nuclear power plant would provide electricity to the houses. Then you would just jack the car into the house.
I see.
Yeah. So the power plant would be way away from everybody, and then everything would just run on electric.
Yeah, we had one of those in Arizona. If you kept driving west out of Phoenix, it was out there. And I mean, as far as I know, the 3 Mile Island, that plant did pretty much melt down.
Mm-hmm.
And what, Ohio? Is that
No,
where
that's in New York. It's on the East Coast.
Oh,
That's off the East Coast, the Northeast Coast.
anyway, that's the only one we've been told about. But the media could hold anything from anybody. You know,
Well,
they-
Fukushima. There's Fukushima.
That was a natural disaster. It got hit by a tsunami.
Yeah.
That was poor planning.
Yeah.
Put it on the coast of an active country when it comes to seismology. Like, you kind of asked for that.
Yeah. Long Island. Yeah, he said it's by Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah. Just letting y'all know I'm listening. Weavis is at work. Weavis is working hard for the money.
That's right.
Yes, you still need batteries to run. You still need a battery to hold the electricity inside of the car. Yes, that's true. But I don't see a world where they're going to make every single vehicle a nuclear reactor.
No.
I don't.
You would be giving too many people access.
Tweakers.
Free access. to
Tweakers messing
nuclear-
with stuff.
Yeah.
Take
Next
it
thing you know, they got the best bathtub dope in the world, man. I'm telling you right now, it's nuclear.
These fools are scrapping uranium.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, bro.
He says 3 Mile Island is in Pennsylvania.
There you go, Pennsylvania.
I knew it was on the East Coast. I know that.
I said Ohio, right next to Pennsylvania. Also, right next to New York. So I think it's a tie.
Yeah.
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 Bro, I don't know what the answer is. I do know this.
Oh, we got Midnight Rider in here. What up?
Bro. Jeff,
Sir?
I don't know what the answer is. I do know we got Midnight Rider. Oh, Jeff, you got to turn down the volume on the TV. All right. Jeff just hanging out.
Hey, Jeff. Thumbnail with me and you. It's working.
Yeah, it's working.
I can't hear you guys.
Yeah.
He said you need lithium to make that shake and bake. He's right. You need lithium strips to make shake and bake. To cause the reaction, you drop the strip in and it causes the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, Miss Thang. Good to see you.
And we're going to run out of it because it's the best mineral that they can find that's cost effective, I guess, to build these electric vehicles, to build batteries for them.
It's to store energy is what it is. It's the best. They're the best for storing energy.
Right. But what happens when there is no more lithium?
Well, we don't have the truth is that if tomorrow there was no lithium, there would be a mad dash for nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
There would be a mad dash for nuclear, coal, all that stuff. Just the same way that Germany, whenever Nord Stream 2 got blown up, immediately went out into the hills and started cutting down timber so they had winter, so nobody would freeze to death. They immediately went out and started harvesting a bunch of timber and coal, buying coal from other countries.
Right. I mean, you need replenishable options.
Buying coal from other countries.
You know, you can't. Oil is it's not just going to keep producing itself underground. You know, it's not like we can just tiptoe around the planet and grab oil from here, and by the time we make it all the way back around to here, it's already replenished itself. It doesn't work like that.
Tiptoe around the planet.
And
grab oil from here and
so that's going away. Lithium is
I just
obviously
muted him.
terrible idea. And yeah, renewable. There you go.
Renewable.
Yeah. Like solar. Solar is a good option, but they can't. It takes so many panels to get a little bit of energy. They need a better way of collecting that energy from the sun.
It's not the collection. It's the storage. It's not the collection. There's energy. The energy in the sun. Yeah, they need somewhere to put the energy. If it was just about collecting it, they would just build big, huge domes that just collected sunlight. It's that they don't know what to do with it. There's nowhere to store the fucking sunlight. And the only thing that can store it, the most cost-effective thing, most effective thing that they can find to store it is lithium. Unless you talk about nuclear material. Nuclear material is way more dense. It's extremely heavy. Like those rods, those uranium rods that are like this big, they're like 80 pounds or something like that, and they're like a foot long, like that big around, and it's like 80 pounds. And they can hold an amazing amount of energy.
Well, I mean, think about something like this. There are cars that are set up to run on cooking oil. And they smell like French fries when they run, and people that have them or have built them usually go to restaurants and buy up all their used cooking oil, and then they strain it and they use it for their car. I've seen this a few times.
No worries, brother.
Cooking oil comes from vegetables, renewable.
Yeah.
So why aren't all cars running on cooking oil now?
There's a reason for it. I don't remember what it is. I'm sure it's got something to do with some special interests. But yeah, they should have been making that because we've got an overabundance of corn.
Yeah.
But then again, corn depletes the soil. So then you're putting yourself in another position. If you pivot to that, you're now putting yourself in a position where eventually corn will run out and you can't grow it no more.
You don't have to use just corn. There's other vegetable oils out there. There's nut oils, right?
But that's a different oil. You can't just keep putting different oil in the same engine. You can't just keep putting different oils. You got to standardize an oil. An engine's not going to run like that.
Right. So you standardize something that runs on a 50-50 mix between a nut oil and a vegetable oil, right?
Nuts are expensive as hell. Nuts are more expensive than corn or any of that other stuff.
So What else is there? Canola oil. There's all types of.
That's corn.
Olive
Canola.
oil. Olive oil.
That's expensive as hell too. That's just as expensive. See, that's the thing.
But it's renewable.
It is. I used to know a hippie that would use cooking oil for his car.
See?
Man, they were developing an electric car out of the test site in the 1960s here in Nevada, Area 51. Real model dispels can run on that cooking oil. Any real older model. We are dependable.
I see what Brandon said. Gas isn't all the same either, but it manages to run on different ethanol purities.
Dude, you can't just keep putting different types of oil in your engine. So, I mean, you could think that if you want and just keep putting different types of oil, but...
I'm going to look at the difference.
You know what I mean?
The breakdown of nut oils and vegetable oils.
And think about think about oils the way that think about the way that oils react. All kinds of oils react differently. Fish oil, coconut oil, all these oils react differently whenever they get hot, whenever they get cold. What happens if you put coconut oil and peanut oil? Peanut oil don't harden. Coconut oil does. What happens whenever it gets cold again?
Right.
You see what I mean? Yeah. Go with nuclear. Weavy says go with nuclear. What's going on tonight?
I'm with it. I'll drive a nuclear vehicle. I don't care.
Oh, everybody gets golf carts. Just leave golf carts all over the city like the like the bikes.
Oh,
like the
God.
city bikes.
They brought those things to Phoenix, the rent-a-bikes, and they were just everywhere down.
Yeah, I know. This homeless people just steal them.
Yeah, and then they just leave them sitting next to the building when they see
Or they collect them. They'll have like a whole collection of them.
Yeah.
Start taking them apart and shit.
I knew a dude. We went to the airport, and he found out that you could use gift cards that weren't even no money added to them. You just had to have a strip to run, and you could get the little cart right at the airport. Now, if you get the whole row of carts and then you put them back, you get a quarter for each one of those carts. This dude, now he didn't tell me what the plan was. We end up, TSA's walking up to us. What the hell are you doing? He pulls out his own debit card. My wife thinks that she's going to leave me and take all the money. I'm going to show her, doing all this, hoopla. Slick was my road dog, and that motherfucker. But yeah, he used to just turn those things in for 25 cents. Nuts on gift cards that he would steal from Walgreens. I don't even know how we got into that conversation. I can't hear you.
All right. Well, I think that's about it. I think we've talked this situation out. I think it was a good episode.
Yeah.
We'll get some good couple videos out of this. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hot. It's hot in here. How you feeling?
Yeah.
Is it
like hell, bro? I've been so busy.
Yeah.
I've been busy like on a different level. It's been crazy.
Yeah. I've had to slow down, like everything, just like slow down my life. Think about what you're doing. And then I wrote a list. Okay, wrote a list. What'd you get done today? You know what I mean? And check it off as I go. And it's just like, Jesus.
Well, I've been so busy, and the comments was always my thing until I hit like about 15,000 subs, and I just could not keep up with the comments after that.
Sure.
But I don't want to be like that. So Brandon, somebody had said earlier that they were like, oh yeah, you commented, or maybe it was your brother. Brandon has access to my account. So I'm like, Brandon, can you just go through the random comments, the ones that nobody's asking a question, or it's not somebody that you know from the chat, because I like to talk to everybody that I know is out there. And so Brandon's going to take care of some of those comments for me, because there's literally thousands.
Well, and he could probably isolate some funny ones too.
Yeah.
If he just isolates the really funny ones, and then you got a ready-made video ready to go. You just reacted.
He could send me the picture on the spot on my iPad, and I could just pull it up. Because that's what I would do. When I did my comments video, I would screenshot the thing twice. I'd blow their picture up so that their picture's sitting there, and I'd move on with my life. And a couple of weeks later, it's like it's new to me, and I'm like, what? And I would just react to it.
Yeah.
That's how I would do that.
Mike D, good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping by.
Mike D, my wood bro.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Thang, good to see you too, sir. Anyway, probably going to call it a night, fellas. Everybody, thank you for tapping in for this week's issue of Culture War Vultures. We will be back on, what is today, Wednesday. So we'll be back on Sunday, right? Sunday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be back to normally scheduled programming. Thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight. And later.